Representative Jim Jordan minimized the hundreds of thousands, nearly 500,000 Americans who died from the coronavirus pandemic. He even minimized the poverty that so many Americans are facing as a result of the pandemic and lack of robust response from Congress in which he serves. But he did take some time to express what he considers to be the #1 issue in America today. Let's hear what he has to say.
When the San Francisco Board of Education said the Dianne Feinstein Elementary School will no longer be named after Senator Feinstein, a liberal icon, not good enough because 37 years ago, she said something the cancel culture doesn't like. That's how ridiculous, that's how dangerous this is. And the latest one is Mr. Van der Veen, who did a great job defending the president. He's faced it now. But if we don't push back on this and stop it and stand up, as Mr. Dershowitz said, stand up for the Constitution and the First Amendment, it will only get worse. And so this is the #1 issue for the country to address today.
You heard it here, folks. He believes that cancel culture is the #1 issue that must be addressed. He shockingly also doesn't believe that, school athletes getting sexually assaulted by coaches is a top issue that should be addressed. But this is Jim Jordan, cancel culture, Cenk. He's very concerned about a school in San Francisco getting renamed after it was previously named after Senator Feinstein. Like, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
No one cares.
Okay, so there's two different things here. #1, we've now nearly lost 500,000 Americans to COVID. But he thinks, was it an elementary or a junior high school in San Francisco being renamed is a top issue in the country?
It's an elementary.
Elementary, okay. I just want to be clear because 500,000 dead Americans or an elementary school renaming. Nope, the elementary school renaming. That's what Jim Jordan thinks is more important. There's 1,000 issues, including healthcare for everyone, higher wages, you name it, that are way, way more important than goddamn renaming of elementary schools. So if you are a Republican and you think that, you know why you're saying it, by the way. Let's just keep it real. So look, do I agree with cancel culture overall? No. Does cancel culture go too far? Yes. Is it the #1 issue in the country? Are you insane? It's at best like 1,237th most important issue, okay? Second of all, now let's look into cancel culture. The Republicans love to say, oh, no, we don't want anybody to cancel. Why? It's just a code word for I want to be able to say racist things. Now, if they actually meant that they're against all cancel culture, would they act the way that they do? Of course not. They look to cancel people all the time. Liz Cheney dared to speak out against Donald Trump. Matt Gaetz went to her home state to try to cancel her. He said, you've got to get rid of her, cancel her, cancel her. She dared to speak out against Donald Trump. Wait, I thought you were for free speech, what happened? No, it's just free speech to say racist things. And in fact, if you speak out against murderous things, racist things, then we'll try to cancel you. Okay, but you know what look guys, cancel, are you insane? Donald Trump said, we want a total and complete shutdown of all Muslims coming into this country. They try to cancel 1.5 billion people. But I can give you 1,000 examples, literally 1,000 examples, but I'll give you one last one. They were chanting, hang Mike Pence, and Donald Trump encouraged them after he found out they were targeting Pence on January 6th. I'm pretty sure executing someone is canceling them. So the lead cancer of the cancel culture is Donald J. Trump, and Jim Jordan is here for it. So let's be honest about cancel culture.
Yeah, look, most people in positions of power who tend to complain about cancel culture, with a few exceptions, are full of it. They engage in cancel culture themselves, and what they're doing here is essentially airing their grievances about any potential criticism that they might face in the future, criticism that they've already faced, because they have this funny way of mixing up cancel culture with critique, right? Anytime there's backlash against their actions, like, oh my God, I'm being canceled, No one cares about an elementary school being renamed. I will admit, the school board has given weird reasons for why they want to rename it. One reason that I think is fine. She apparently allowed, Dianne Feinstein did, a Confederate flag that had been flown outside the San Francisco Convention Center to continue flying. And she didn't order for the removal until 1984. That might be a legitimate reason. I mean, it's up to the school board. They've decided they want to rename the elementary school for that purpose. And then they also cited something that she had no involvement in, including mass evictions of Filipinos living in a hotel in San Francisco in the late 1970s, which happened before she was a mayor. Look, I've got no love for Dianne Feinstein, but understand what Jim Jordan was doing there. He was trying to make it appear as though he's actually legitimately concerned that cancel culture is negatively impacting everyone, even Democrats. But no, Dianne Feinstein, she's gonna be all right. She's a United States senator and she has no business being one right now, okay? She has a tremendous amount of wealth, partly because she has all these conflicts of interest with her husband's real estate business, and proceeded to sponsor legislation and pass legislation that was incredibly friendly to that industry, where she was able to make a ton of money as a result. Like, these are not people who are being canceled. Are there legitimate people who Congress attempts to cancel, possibly protesters, for instance, who they don't like? I mean, on a state level, how many state bills did we see by Republicans who essentially wanted to cancel protesters by allowing drivers to run them over if they're blocking the streets? I mean, it just goes on and on and on. They love to squash speech that they dislike. And so for someone like Jim Jordan, okay, to turn around and say like, oh, we're victims of cancel culture, give me a break, it's pathetic.
You're a United States Congressperson. You appear to be entirely uncanceled. So look, guys, again, I think cancel culture is real, and I can't stand it. It's usually done by elitist liberals who think I'm holier than thou, and anyone who's ever made a mistake in the past should be canceled, and I should get their job. They leave that last part out, by the way, but that's usually the underlying tone in most of the things that they push. So I got no love for it at all, okay? But it is not among the top 1,000 issues in the country, let alone the top issue. And why is Jim Jordan defending Dianne Feinstein, who he loathes? She put up the Confederate flag, and that's why she was in trouble. So he's like, well, that is one thing I like about Dianne Feinstein. When it comes to defending anything racist, Jim Jordan and the Republican Party are here for it. And they've tried to cancel everything under the moon. They tried to cancel meetings that Democrats were holding by busting into them. They've tried to cancel every kind of legislation that Democrats want. They've tried to cancel people, get them fired. They did a campaign to fire professors who were either against the state of Israel or against conservative principles. That's how cancel culture began. It began as a right-wing movement to get professors fired. So they have no moral high ground at all. The only people worse than the judgmental people that participate in cancel culture are the Republicans who look to take advantage of it for their own racist positions.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.